Hi, I'm Tika Aprilia Puspita. In this video, I will share to you about an amazing person. But before that, let me ask you something. Do you know what product it is? And have you ever consumed this product before? Yes, all of these products belong to Latte Group. Seeing Latte's current success, of course there is an amazing person behind it, right? Alright, now let's find out more about the founder of Latte Group. The founder of Latte is Shin Kyuk Ho. He was born on November 3rd, 1921 in Ulsan, South Korea, and was the youngest of 10 children. He has 4 children from 3 marriages, 1 child from the first marriage, 2 children from the second marriage, and 1 child from the third marriage. Shin Kyuk Ho's business story began in 1941. He migrated to Japan to study chemical engineering at Waseda University. He adopted a Japanese name, Takeo Shigemitsu, to help him blend it with his fellow students. And 1 year after his migration, he decided to build a rice cooking factory with borrowed capital of 60,000 yen. Unfortunately, his factory was destroyed by an air bomb explosion from Allied troops because at the time Japan was facing a pace of defeat against the Allies. But he didn't give up. After that, he decided to open another new business. After borrowing money again for the business capital, Shin Kyuk Ho finally operated a business that focused on producing soap and facial cream. Because Japan was in World War II at the time, he became fascinated with all things about American. After seeing US soldiers handing out bubble gum to children, he was inspired to form his own company in Tokyo, making gum for the Japanese market. Shin's company opened for business in 1948, producing gum under brand names such as Kobo and Marble Gum. The only trace of his literary dreams would be a name Lotte. It was a name he took from Charlotte, the heroine in Wolfgang von Goethe's 18th century novel, The Sorrows of Young Werther. In 1963, Shin Kyuk Ho, through Lotte, was even able to employ up to 3,000 employees. He has also expanded into other business models such as chocolate, including the Ghana chocolate line, and it's still popular for its milk chocolate bars, and then also confection and property. His company sponsored TV programs and Japanese baseball team, the Lotte Orions. Then in 1965, Lotte received the gift Shin had been waiting for when Japan and South Korea finally normalized diplomatic relations. This allowed Lotte to expand into Shin's motherland in 1967, when South Korea was undergoing a period of growth unlike anything the world had seen. True to its roots, Lotte's first product in Korea would also be chewing gum, but many more would follow. And then in the 1970s and 80s, Lotte focused on overseas expansion, building a factory in the US state of Michigan and opening a sales office in Chicago to help sell chewing gum and cookies to the US market. Then came Lotte expansion. Then the came Lotte's expansion across Asia, and the launch of subsidiaries in the growing market of Thailand in 1988 and Indonesia in 1993. The company would move to China next year, and after that, it would launch similar operation in Philippines and Vietnam. Shin Kyuk Ho's success made him and his family the 136th richest person in the world, according to Forbes magazine 2006. And after 3 years, he rose to become the 38th richest person in the world. But while chaebols such as Lotte benefited from close government ties, those connections often came at a cost, and the South Korean government had demands of its own. South Korea was then at the height of its Cold War with North Korea. Eager to build up its military strength, the government was approaching corporations to ask for help manufacturing military supplies. High on its list of candidates was Shin Kyuk Ho and his Lotte enterprise. Firstly, Shin rejected the government's approach, and so began a long and complicated relationship between Lotte and the South Korean military. The tension increased between China and South Korea when the latter country announced that it would be deploying the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAD system, supplied by the United States. Despite the official US statement that deployment of the system was purely defensive measure and directed only at North Korea, China repeatedly expressed its discontent over the deployment, insisting that the system would threaten its border security. But eventually, the Korean conglomerate Lotte Group got involved and agreed to a land swap with the Korean government, which was signed on February 27, 2017, and then turned over part of the golf course to be used as a place to house THAAD equipment. As a result, Lotte lost billions of dollars because Beijing launched an unofficial boycott of the Lotte brand, so that many stores closed. And this also made their decades-long effort to enter China fall apart. Then he was found guilty of tax evasion and was sentenced to prison for 4 years. This case also involves his 3 children, Shin Dong-ju, Shin Dong-bin, and Shin Yong-ja. Shin Dong-ju was declared not guilty. Then Shin Dong-bin was sentenced to 20 months in prison, and Shin Yong-ja was sentenced to 2 years in prison. However, Shin Kyuk Ho was released considering his poor health, and also because he was suffering from dementia. Shin Kyuk Ho died on January 19, 2020 at the age of 98 years, and until the end of his life, he was known to have wealth of up to 270.5 billion won in 2016, or the equivalent of 3.45 trillion Indonesian rupiah. All Lotte business line are still operating well and are still in demand by the market today. I think that's all the story about Shin Kyuk Ho's struggle to achieve Lotte success. I hope you enjoy the story. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.